Hey everyone, Meredith Howard here. I'm going to be spending the next few minutes chatting about some of my favorite storybooks and read-alouds from the Usborne Books More catalog. But before I get started, I wanted to show you a book that is not from Usborne. It's not even for your kids, but instead it is for you. It is called the Read Aloud Handbook by Jim Trelease. This book is a fantastic resource for any family or school in order to learn more about why we do what we do at Usborne, and that is to share the love of reading with young readers. Such great information to inspire you to read aloud with your kids. So now moving on to some of my favorite read-alouds from Usborne Books and More. Peek Inside a Fairy Tale series is so fantastic. This is Beauty and the Beast. These books are perfect for young preschoolers. They are beautifully illustrated, sweet retellings of these really great stories. There's also Peek Inside Little Red Riding Hood, as well as Peek Inside Cinderella. I have loved reading these aloud with our girls, and they're just a really sweet, simple retelling, perfect for preschoolers. Jonathan James and the What If Monster is a really fantastic book that communicates about what you do with your doubts and fears in order to be able to accomplish what you want and what you dream for. So Jonathan James has a what if monster that causes him to doubt himself, kind of sink into some fears, when instead he starts to question those doubts and thereby letting them go and being able to accomplish new things and try new things with lots of confidence. The complete book of Farmyard Tales is one of my favorite books in the catalog. This is a combined volume of 20 stories that comes with an audio CD for listening on the go. This book follows the adventures of the Boot family on Apple Tree Farm. It is so sweet. The stories are really, really sweet. And I love that it is also reinforcing these early reading skills with our young readers. So there is a simple, shorter line of text across the top, a longer text across the bottom. This is what is called a dual reader. So you can read just the top and have a simple, shorter version of the story. You can read both and have a longer version of the story. Both versions are completely comprehensive, and then when your young reader is reading on his or her own, they can read the top while you read the bottom, helping them to build confidence in their reading skills while they are contributing to the telling of the story. I love Usborne's storybooks, combined volumes of storybooks. The complete book of Farmyard Tales is one. This is another. This is called Animal Stories for Bedtime. We have the most amazing read-aloud books and other stories like this. There's fairy tales for bedtime. There are 10-minute stories. Such great books. I love this one because it is beautifully illustrated. Familiar stories like The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse, Three Little Pigs, The Little Red Hen. Really perfect stories for reading aloud with preschoolers through elementary age. There's a ribbon to keep your place. I have really enjoyed this with our girls. Can I Join Your Club is a really fantastic book that I highly recommend to any kiddo entering into school or already in school, all about Duck, who wants to find new friends and connect with the club. And while he is not having success finding where he fits, he decides he's going to create his own club where he can include everyone. It communicates such a fantastic message about having open arms to lots of new friends. A Tale of Two Beasts is a really fantastic book as well, all about having perspective to see two sides to a story. So it starts off with this young girl who is on an adventure in the forest, and she meets a beast, and it tells the story from her perspective. Then halfway through, we are able to switch gears and learn the story from the beast's perspective. Really, really fun, and it communicates that important message of having an open mind to other people's thoughts and feelings. Nibbles the Book Monster is one of our favorites. This book is meant to be read aloud. It is funny. You will laugh out loud, I promise. Nibbles eats his way through various books. There are holes, there are cutouts, there are flaps. It's so interactive and fun. Reading through stories like Little Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Jack and the Beanstalk. We have loved this book so much, and there is a new one where Nibbles is eating his way through a dinosaur guide. Pandemonia was released this summer, and it is one of our new favorites, all about why you shouldn't wake the panda at the zoo because of some definite shenanigans that will happen. This vocabulary in this book is so vibrant, it paints the picture, even though the illustrations are also super gorgeous, but you are going to love reading this book out loud with your young readers. Bears Don't Read is another really sweet storybook all about a young girl who wants to help a bear who learns how to read. Such a sweet communication of the importance of having a love for reading and sharing that with others. And then even for your older readers, I highly encourage you to be reading aloud, and we have some really fantastic options for doing so. The illustrated storybooks from Usborne are absolutely beautiful storybooks. This is an example, Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales. There's also illustrated stories from Dickens or from Shakespeare, Grimm's fairy tales. Fantastic stories all throughout these books. There are fewer illustrations throughout just to keep their engagement, but they are the most beautiful books and familiar stories as well. And then I have loved our illustrated originals. This is an example, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, the complete and unabridged retelling of this story. Such a fantastic book. There are the most gorgeous illustrations. We have loved reading this out loud in our home. Hope this helps to see inside some of our favorites, and definitely be reading with your kids. Have a great day.